How are we doing, everybody? UFC Thoughts here, and today I'm going to be recapping UFC Vegas 103 Cobb vs. Almabayev. It wrapped up about 2 hours ago, I'd say. I don't know, I'm recording this at 11:13. Probably not. But, well, I am, but you get the point. I did well on picks, 7-3. Went on a 3-fight miss streak, though, which kind of sucks, and I got some fights I'm going to talk about. The main event was pretty good. Speaking of the main event, let's get right into it. Manel versus Asu Almabayev. About exactly what I expected. Honestly, I'm not very shocked at this outcome. I honestly was surprised with Asu actually having even somewhat success. I think a lot of people understood the just overall difference in striking ability going into this matchup. I think a lot of people are still surprised with how easy Manel made it look. Asu Almabayev, outside of a couple counter strikes and kicking exchanges, legit almost did nothing in this fight. Manel stalked him down literally the entire time to the point where Asu Almabayev was running away from exchanges, catching him in moments as well. The first round, very easy to score. Manel landed the better shots. Same with the second round. Asu actually landed more in the second, but it was a close round because Manel still to the day will have moments where he just doesn't throw anything, but he's setting stuff up, which he can get away with in a 5-round fight, which is what I like about Manel in 5-round fights. In 3-rounders, not so much. That's where he'll lose. In 3-rounders is because he's not doing enough. In a 5-round fight, I really find it difficult to find enough moments where Manel isn't doing enough. The second round was closer, probably the closest round of the. I mean, there's only 2 rounds to actually judge, but it was definitely the closer of the two. But Manel, I think he still landed the harder shots, so I still edged that round out to him. Round 3. The round where the finish happens, Asu literally is just getting his ass whooped and starts running away. Gets eye poked. At the end of round 2 as well, Manel poked him in the eye twice and got away with it twice. Which is now back-to-back fights where Manel has gotten away with a cheating technique to get a finish, which is scummy. It is a pretty scummy thing. But it's Manel So, I mean, it's Asu Almabayev it happened to and Bruno Silva, so who really gives a fuck outside of their 12 fans that they equally have. Asu's chill. He also couldn't get any grappling going. He went 0 of 6 on takedown attempts. Manel's takedown defense looked really fucking good in this fight, man. He looked really good again. I want to see him in another 5-round main event. I don't care who it's against. It shouldn't be against Pantoja. He needs to beat somebody else. I would love to see them book the Kai France matchup, even though I know they're going to do Pantoja versus Kai France next. If you're really adamant about Royval beating another person, just rebook that matchup. If you're so hell-bent on not giving Royval a rematch for the title in a trilogy fight with Pantoja, even though he probably deserves it now, just do him versus Royval again. I don't mind that. Rebook it. Make it in the summer for the Apex. They're going to have a bunch of fucking Apex events, I imagine. Or, honestly, a fight night in an arena. I think Manel and Royval are big enough names to main event a fight night in front of a crowd. I fucking love it. Asu Almabayev, not ready. He's clearly not ready yet. And I figured as much going into this matchup. He's just, the amount of competition he's fought from Nicolau, Ode Osborne, CJ Vergara, and then who did he fight before Nicolau? Why can't I think of it? Oh yeah, Jose Johnson. You know what I mean? It's just not good enough. Who could you give him? You could do him versus Tagir Ulanbekov, make the rematch. Tagir beat him 8 years ago or some shit. You could not rebook it, but make a rematch. Asu Almabayev, Tagir Ulanbekov 2. Tagir's coming off, 2 wins in a row now? 3? Yeah, 3 wins since the Tim Elliott fight. I like that idea. We move to the co-main event. Cody Brundage versus Julian Marquez. Honestly, crazy entertaining. It was literally just two morons fighting each other. Dominic Cruz said it looked like two truckers fighting each other in a parking lot, and I couldn't describe it any other way. Cody Brundage and Julian were just throwing big, meaty overhands at each other and hurting each other. Cody hurt him like at 30 seconds in and then forgot to throw anything and then got absolutely sloshed with a right hand, got his mouthpiece knocked out, and arguably finished. Like, it was close enough to stop it. And then Cody knocked out Julian's mouthpiece and just started throwing haymakers. There was a bad separation in the action to put the mouthpieces back in because Julian Marquez had a shit ton of momentum, and then he just got chinned, and then follow-up shots for like 12 seconds of just straight brutal barrage of punches. Cody Brundage wins by KO. I knew this fight was going to most likely be entertaining because it's just two morons who have no skill whatsoever fighting each other. It still didn't deserve to be the co-main event. I don't care how entertaining it was. It should have been the first fight of the main card instead of seeing Danny Barlow get his fucking... I'll get to it when I get to it. Julian Marquez is just, he's too chinny. He's just not, he's also not good enough as well. Cody will most likely get re-signed because he was on the main card of UFC 300. So it would be kind of weird not to keep him, I guess. What's Julian's record in the UFC? 3-5 now? Yeah, get him out. Cody Brundage 5-5. If he fights more like that, dude, keep him. If he's that much of a moron and he's entertaining, keep him around. You could do him versus like fucking... God, I don't even know. Who's a lower level middleweight? Can't even say fucking Dylan Budka. Horse Pride. Do Cody Brundage versus Marco Tulio. Or Marco Tulio has a matchup, don't he? He's fighting Trayshawn Gore. Cody Brundage versus Antonio Tricoli. Or do Cody Brundage versus, what's the city kickboxing guy? Not Izzy, but the other middleweight. What's his name? Is he a middleweight? No, he's light heavyweight, ain't he? Is Navajo Sterling's a light heavyweight, isn't he? I think he is, because Tuco Tokos. Who's Tuco Tokos fighting? I know they just got booked. It's Taco Tucos. Who's you know, like, book him against some like up and coming middleweight guy. I don't know. We move to the featured fight: Nasrat Haqparast versus Esteban Ribovics. I'm so sad. I'm just so sad. Like, dude, yeah, you guys know how much I love Esteban Ribovics. He's my favorite lightweight prospect at the moment. He is one of my favorite fighters on the roster right now with just how entertaining he is and how killer be killed he is, even though no one kills him because he has such a good chin. I am not going to be some brain-dead person and come to you guys and be like, it was a blatant fucking robbery. It was a very close fight. And I knew that going to the scorecards. Round 2 is the deciding round. Round 1, clearly Nasrat Haqparast won. He landed the better shots. Esteban started coming at him. Started coming on late in the round like he usually does. Round 2 is very close. Esteban barely outstrikes him. Nasrat did land a lot of good shots in that round early on, especially Esteban kind of, again, came on late. Round 3 is all Esteban Ribovics. He hurts him, cuts him up, beats him up pretty bad, starts waning on him a little bit. I wanted Esteban to win, so it is a little biased in my viewpoint, I will admit. In that second round, I was like, come on, you got to give that to Esteban Ribovics. I'd have to rewatch it to form a more calculated opinion, but I do understand why you would give the second round to Nasrat Haqparast because he was still landing flush left hands, left, right, and center. I did want Esteban to win, so I just kind of, it hurts. Esteban's my boy. I don't think this loses his stock at all. In my opinion, he went to war with Nasrat Haqparast, who has a good chin as well, only been chinned by Drew Dober, like however many years ago. Went to a decision with Dan Hooker. You know, one of the more underrated guys in the division, honestly, is Nasrat Haqparast. On a 5-fight win streak, I think is what it is. Crazy win streak. The reason why it does sting a little bit is because Nasrat is coming off a really shitty performance against Jared Gordon, and I really thought this would be a more easy fight for Esteban. The speed of Nasrat really fucked him up early, because Nasrat is like conventionally quick for a more tubby lightweight. And Esteban kind of didn't move his head early. He should have won. He should have done better. And he still almost won with a bit of a lackluster performance in the first 2 frames. Esteban will be back. Book him against Miran Elvis Brenner is coming off of an injury. I don't imagine Esteban's going to get in there in a crazy quick amount of time. Do Esteban Ribovics versus Elvis Brenner in a pay-per-view prelim. What's another? Who's another dog at lightweight that you could do him against? Maybe him versus Carlos Diego Ferreira. Maybe if you're feeling froggy. Just something, not a step in the park, not a walk in the park, rather. A decent lightweight contender who does have some name value, but is also going to have an entertaining fight with Esteban Ribovics. That's what we need to do with Esteban, is put him in entertaining fights. So, yeah. We move to Hyder Emil versus William Gomez. Again, another really close decision. Hyder Emil clearly wins the 3rd round. William Gomez. Wait, how did I score it? Yeah, William won the 1st round. He dropped Hyder with a spinning elbow somewhat. It didn't get counted as a knockdown, I imagine, but he was just beating up Hyder Emil. Hyder Emil was walking forward. Round 2 and 3, Hyder Emil definitely switched the pace. He definitely won the 3rd round. William Gomez, body language-wise, was looking dead in the octagon. Very labored strikes throughout, especially in round 3. He kind of was getting bullied a little bit. Round 2 is very close, though. I can understand why you give the 2nd round to William Gomez. It's seeming more and more like the UFC is basing fights based on body language. Like, judges are really taking into account body language into decisions. Because, in my opinion, I think William Gomez clearly landed the better strikes in the 2nd round. In my opinion, I think he definitely landed the better shots. But he was getting walked down and was kind of looking defeated in the face, I guess. He was still landing really well, but he was kind of shuffling about, kind of looking out into the crowd when he was exiting exchanges, not really looking like the best body language, I guess. And they gave it to Hyder Emil. My big issue is that if you give this fight to Hyder Emil, which the judges did, then I really find it hard not giving the fight to Esteban Ribovics in the literal next fight. But it is what it is. Maybe, I don't know if it was the same judges, it wasn't, but it doesn't matter. Hyder Emil won, stays undefeated. He will lose eventually. This was a very good win for him, though. William Gomez is a very tricky customer. He's a very tricky customer. Huge for the fucking division, 6 foot. I just think that Hyder Emil is going to get another step up in competition and lose. Fighting a guy, because William Gomez does back up a lot. That is a big thing about him, is he will stay on the back foot. He will, just kind of resort to it. He'll allow it to happen. He'll reside on the back foot. When Hyder Emil fights a featherweight who's going to move forward and has good striking defense and a good chin, he's going to lose horrifically. Because I really don't think he's technically all that good at all. He's fun. Very fun. They need to get him in an actual event. Not an event, but an actual arena, because he's fought 3 times in the Apex now, which I think is honestly very disgraceful. Even though I don't think he's that good, he is insanely entertaining. Get him in an arena, please. Same with Esteban Ribovics. Never put him in a fucking an Apex event ever fucking again, or I'll kill you. Okay? We move to the start of the main card. Danny Barlow versus Sam Patterson. Man. Another one bites the dust. Danny Barlow got chinned by Sam Patterson. I'm still shocked to the day. I'm very surprised even now. When it happened, my mouth was agape. I couldn't believe it. Danny Barlow was basically spamming left hands over and over again. He was winning most of the exchanges in the first round for as long as it was lasting. And then he got into a really squirrely pocket exchange with Sam for some reason, where his hands are usually low and his chin is in the air, but he literally just kind of ran at him like a special needs person, and then he got clocked with a right hook. and then didn't put his hands to his face to actually defend punches like a fucking doofus, and then got clocked again, and then got grazed with the right hand and dropped. And then, to be fair, the follow-up shot, Sam, it was like Nasruddin Imavov, Israel Adesanya level shit. Like, it was a brutal follow-up uppercut, and it put Danny Barlow out cold. The follow-up shots didn't help as well. I think was it Mark Smith? I think it was Mark Smith. Literally allowed Danny Barlow to get hit like 5 extra times. Danny Barlow was no longer undefeated. Got chinned by Sam Patterson. Sam Patterson, very quietly, is 3-0 at welterweight. Big for the division. Shows that he has knockout power now. Showed he has a chin because he was actually eating some shots off of Danny Barlow. And Danny Barlow does hit hard. And he's very technical when he needs to be. Except in the finishing sequence where he did fight like a special needs person. Good win for Sam Patterson. I imagine they're going to give him either ranking or like very notable contender, like a veteran next. Maybe Neil Magny for Sam Patterson next. Very good win. One of the, 1, 2, 3, 4 finishes on the card. By the way, there was only 10 fights. 2 fights got scrapped. So Montana De La Rosa versus whoever, Luana Carolina, and then Douglas Silva de Andrade, John Castaneda did not happen. There was only 10 fights. But yeah, great one for Sam Patterson. We move to the featured prelim, Austin Lane versus Mario Pinto. This fight had me nervous. Mario Pinto knocked him out in the second round eventually, but he honestly did look very lackadaisical in the first round, up to a point when he got dropped, and I was like, there's no way this motherfucker's about to get knocked out by Austin Lane. And it was getting very eerie in the first round. He wasn't able to land the most significant shots ever. I think he landed one solid right hand that kind of seemingly wobbled Austin Lane, but then he cleared the cobwebs pretty quick. Austin was just kind of landing the better shots. He dropped Mario Pinto because Mario Pinto, he'll try to move his head, he'll try to be super technical, and then he got dropped, and he just kind of became a fucking caveman afterwards. But Austin Lane won the first round. Early in the second, they just start fucking brawling like a bunch of morons. I've said that word a couple times. There was a lot of moronic moments in this fight. They start exchanging like a bunch of Neanderthals. Austin's just like, fucking. Mario Pinto, how long did the fight last, actually? Let me check this. Because how long into the second round? It was 39 seconds. Austin Lane kind of exits an exchange. He tries to get his wits about him because he kind of exerted a lot of energy. And then he just gets flatline knocked out. Left hook, right hook. It was basically the same as the Contender Series knockout, if not even more clean, because Austin literally died. Floored. Mario Pinto gets a second round KO after facing some adversity. A very technical heavyweight. I don't know who you give him in his next fight. I don't know if you give him like Junior Tafa's moving down, so you can't even do that. It was Junior Tafa Tuco Tokos. That's what it was. And they are at light heavyweight, so Navajo Sterling versus Cody Brundage doesn't make any sense, but it doesn't matter. I don't know. It's a weird one. Mario Pinto, you could do, there's like fucking 30 heavyweights on the roster now. You can't, it's like there's nobody. Let me see how many active heavyweights there are. And the thing is, this includes some like fucking slap fight guys. It says 72. That's a lie. Yeah, because there's some slap fight dudes and some dudes who aren't even on the fucking roster anymore. Excuse me, my just got really close. Walt Harris is serving like an 8-year suspension, even though for some reason he's on the UFC roster. Josh Parisian is not in the UFC anymore. Get him the fuck out of here. How about Sean Sharaf? No, don't do that. That's a terrible decision. Fuck. You do... Wow, there's literally like nobody. Depending on how Daniolo Vovedkin's fight goes, does he have a fight booked? I think he does. He got like a knockout on the Contender Series. Or you could do him versus Hamdi Abdelwahab. That's a viable option. Travis Brown is listed as an active heavyweight on the UFC.com website, by the way. Don't trust it. We move to Ricardo Ramos versus Chepe Mariscal. how I expected the fight to go. Basically, Ricardo Ramos was throwing a lot of miscellaneous strikes, like a bunch of spinning attacks. He landed a good spinning elbow in round 2, I believe. In round 1, he was kind of like landing shots out of pure randomness. But besides that, Chepe was beating the shit out of him. The first round was kind of, it was just basically Chepe kind of just like bullying him. Round 2, bullying him. Round 3 again, bullying him. He was just bullying around Ricardo Ramos because he allows it, because he is just Charles Oliveira pre-daughter. Yeah, I think Chepe Mariscal either gets a ranking. It basically like clinch him. At the end of round 2, I honestly thought it was about to get finished because he was just like, Ricardo was just covering up. And then round 3, he kind of got a second wind and Ricardo was still throwing some stuff. And then it just turned into a typical Chepe Mariscal fight. Brutal pocket exchanges, brutal clinch work. Just like, don't let him bully your son. Shut the fuck up. Great win for Chepe Mariscal. Ricardo Ramos, I wish he would have finished him. Because I think Ricardo Ramos is very finishable, because he kind of does quit in moments. But Chepe Mariscal, I think he deserves a ranking fight next. Featherweight is a weird division because it is so, like, weird. Danny Egan's got a match. I mean, Calvin Kattar is there for the taking. You could definitely do that. He either gets a ranking like Calvin Kattar, or he just gets a guy close to the rankings. Sorry, I'm tired. Like an Alex Caceres, possibly. Yeah, we move to Danny Silva versus Lucas Almeida. I'm going to be honest with you, my breakdowns and recaps for these first 3 fights aren't going to be great. I wasn't able to like fully watch them. I was playing pool. I was not at my house. I was kind of just watching the fights kind of in and out. From what I was looking at in the first 2 rounds, it looked like Danny Silva was just landing the better shots, and then round 3, Lucas Almeida kind of made a bit of a comeback. That's what it seemed like to me, is that whenever I was looking at my phone, watching it, the first 2 rounds at least, it seemed like Danny Silva was just clearly landing the better shots. And it seems like the stats back my opinion on that. He outstruck him in round 1 and 2 significantly in totality. In totality, at least. There's a car outside beeping. I don't know if you can pick that up in the video. I hope not. Round 3, yeah, Lucas Almeida kind of just outstruck him. Danny Silva, again, kind of like a weird UFC performance from him, considering how crazy good he looked against Angel Pacheco. Dropping the 3rd round to Lucas Almeida, yuck. Lucas Almeida is not good. Danny Silva, he's entertaining. We move to Andrea Lee versus J.J. Aldrich. If you thought my recap for that fight was going to be, if you thought my recap for the last fight was shit, I literally just didn't watch this fight. JJ won. Seems like she, took her down in the first round, outstruck her, just outstruck her in the second. Round 3 seems close. Probably went to Andrea, because I remember a 29-28 scorecard in there. Andrea Lee's old and not good. J.J. Aldrich is mid, but she's at least like, good win for J.J. Aldrich. I don't know if it was even good. I didn't watch it. We move to the start of the entire card. Charles Johnson versus Ramazan Tamirov. The first round I scored for Ramazan. He seemingly like knocked Charles off balance like 5 times. Round 3, clearly Charles Johnson. Ramazan was gassed. And then round 2 was close. Pretty close round. It seems like, Ramazan outstruck him significantly. Not totally. I mean, Charles landed 1 more total strike. It seemed like early on, Ramazan was really banking on winning the first 2 rounds, which is what a lot of people do against Charles Johnson. And then you survive a late onslaught, which is what happened. I want you guys to go back. I want you guys, let me find what video it is. What's the video? What's the video that I made? Hold up. Let me find it. Go to my fighters in every division that would become ranked contenders next year. I want you to see who I have as my picks for that video. I got some picks that didn't age so well, like Dude, Esteban Ribovics is still going to become ranked, okay? I don't care. And Gregory Rodriguez can still do it. Maybe not this year, but definitely. Mick Porkin, I don't know if I'm going to even pick him against fucking... But yeah, Charles Johnson, again, just loses because he doesn't do enough in the first 2 rounds. Because for a guy with such good cardio, he legit does basically nothing in the first round, I guess. He's just kind of weird. UFC Vegas 103 was kind of entertaining, honestly. It shouldn't have been in the Apex. A lot of these fights shouldn't have been in the Apex. Like Silva Almeida. From what I saw, that fight was actually entertaining. Like Emil Gomez. Like Haqparast Ribovics. Honestly, Cody Brown and Julian Marquez would have been insane in an arena. If looking back on it, like if this fight was in an arena, it would have fucking blown the roof off. But yeah, that was my recap. The fights were good. They were better than I expected, honestly. This weekend we have UFC 313, Pereira versus Ankalaev, with some decent fights on there. I'm gonna get that picks and breakdown video guys out for you on Thursday or Friday. I have 2 uploads. I was supposed to have another one last week. I'm now doing it this week because I waited too long. I'm going to try and get it out on Monday, which is going to be tomorrow when I upload this. And I'm going to try and get an upload out either, most likely Tuesday. I'm going to do one of those UFC 5 prediction videos where I simulate the fights. You know what I mean? And then I have a video, like a commentary video, which I think you guys will like. So, yeah. I'll see you guys in my next video. Peace.